Welcome to the France 24 Observers. This show is created with the help of our network of observers. They're ordinary people who tell us what's going on where they are and send in photos and videos to document it. We verify it all here in Paris and bring the best to you. Our first observer has traveled along what is probably one of the worst roads in the world, the road that links the provinces of North and South Kivu in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, not only is this road in very bad shape, it's also got roadblocks all along the way, and at every roadblock, you have to pay up.
This isn't a small road. This road links 4 provinces and goes all the way to neighbouring Burundi. It's 108 kilometres long. It's in very bad condition. If you drive a Jeep, it can still take you more than 10 hours to drive the whole way. And that's if it doesn't rain. If the road is muddy, it can take 3 or 4 days. It's really hard. You had better be in very good physical condition. I call it the road from hell. I counted 3 roadblocks operated by men in uniform, soldiers from the Congolese army. To get through, you have to pay them between 100 and 500 Congolese francs. 500 Congolese francs is about half a US dollar. There are also lots of other roadblocks belonging to members of armed groups, as well as local teenagers. There were so many of these roadblocks that I couldn't count them. The thing is, we don't know who has the right to ask for money and who doesn't. If there were just a few roadblocks, we might be able to accept this. But when there are too many to count, it really makes our lives difficult.
You've probably heard of whirling dervishes. They're those Sufi dancers who swirl round and round in circles. Now our next observer is going to tell us about a rather unusual whirling dervish performance. It takes place in Turkey, inside a prison.
Mehmet Sutak, who is the prison's director, had this great idea of offering classes to inmates so they could learn about Sufi teachings. This includes the sema, the mystical dance of the whirling dervishes. It's more than a dance, really. It's a prayer ceremony to get closer to God. They also learned about Rumi's philosophy, which is based on love, tolerance, and respect. The prisoners signed up for these classes voluntarily and trained for months. I attended 2 of their performances. It was really very touching. I hope it will inspire other prisons in Turkey to offer classes like this. And maybe, why not, in other countries too.
And now, some of the other stories sent in from around the world this week by our observers. In Brazilian cities, residents of rich neighborhoods and favelas rarely mix, except sometimes in shopping centers. Teenagers from favelas have recently invented a new pastime called rolezinhos. The idea is that they meet at shopping malls, sometimes by the hundreds, to hang out, sing, and dance. Nothing violent, but this seems to scare shoppers, and the police regularly kick the teenagers out. Sometimes, shopping centers even shut down entirely to avoid rolezinhos. It's become a big subject of debate among politicians and has pushed some to start paying attention to the lack of opportunities for favela youth. In Cameroon, like in several other African countries, some women use alum stones to try to give the appearance that they are virgins. This stone is crushed and mixed with water. The resulting liquid temporarily tightens the vagina, but our observer Liliane told us that this is very dangerous for women's health, and doctors we spoke to explained that it can lead to serious problems during childbirth. Our observer Nikki Stein is very concerned about the state of toilets in South African schools. In some parts of the country, these are little more than holes in the ground. Not only is this unhygienic, it can also be dangerous. In January, in the province of Limpopo, a boy fell into one of these toilets and drowned. According to our observer, this shows that the government doesn't pay enough attention to schools in impoverished parts of South Africa. These pictures were taken by Tanya Habjuka, a photographer who captures what she calls the bizarre reality of life in the Palestinian territories. In this series, you won't see any checkpoints or violence. Instead, she focuses on unexpected, poetic moments. Her goal, she says, was to show another side of Palestinians, who are too often depicted as either victims or proponents of violence. In her pictures, men, women, and children enjoy simple pleasures despite the challenges of their daily lives. That's all for this week, but as always, you can find more reports from our observers on our website, on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and on our smartphone app. See you next time.